Welcome to episode 180 of the Thunder Underground podcast. Trent and Jason here. And this week we've got Let's Slip the Dogs on this podcast finally.
Definitely. And this is a really cool one.
Yeah. Long time coming because we saw these guys a long time ago and I've always wanted to make this happen. And finally not only got it to happen, but got it to happen in a better than normal way because we're getting to debut some music here as well.
That's right.
And we're going to get into all that here in just a bit. Not just one song, but a full EP.
4.
That's right.
Fuck yeah.
So we've got that coming here. But first, we got to let you know. This podcast is sponsored by Vitz Screen Printing and DEB Concerts. Vitz out of Oklahoma City. Screen printer. They do hats, hoodies, all that great stuff as well. Koozies as well. So get a hold of them to get your printing needs for your business or your band.
Yeah.
Anything like that. They do our t-shirts. We love Eric and that whole crew, so get a hold of Vitz Screen Printing on Facebook, VITS. Can't not find them.
Yeah, for sure.
Very happy to have them on board. And we've also got DEB Concerts, who keep bringing in some great concerts to the Tulsa area. We just saw Dokken the other night.
Oh, man.
And coming up here next week, next Thursday night, they're bringing in Steelheart to Safari Joe's H2O Water Park.
Fucking A, Randy.
Yeah, that's what you got to say when it's Steelheart.
Pretty much.
If you've never seen Steelheart live, I've said this several times, but it's one of the best fucking rock vocalists in the history of humanity. He still brings it live. The band's great. He plays Steelheart songs, and he plays Steel Dragon songs.
Yes.
Because he was the voice of those songs in the movie Rockstar. So you get all kinds of great stuff. And we've got Rocket Science opening that show up.
Yes.
And it's at a water park.
Yeah.
And they sell alcohol. This is a great combination.
You can't...
How can you go wrong with getting to hear We All Die Young, jump in a wave pool, pound a beer, right after you saw Scott and Jana jam out as well, you know?
Exactly. I just hope they don't play the song Sheila. But that's a whole other story.
She's probably listening right now. She's like, that motherfucker.
Well, sorry.
There's like 2 people that's going to get this one.
Yeah. Sorry. I found the gold standard when it comes to women, so I don't care anymore.
That's right.
I just hope they don't play that one.
Shout out to the gold standard, Mel.
Yes, definitely.
I whispered it, Mel. For those who don't know.
Anyhow.
Oh, back to DEB Concerts.
Yes, that, yeah.
2 nights after that, about a week and a half from now, Saturday night at the Ideal Ballroom, Bisto Blanco is coming in.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with Bisto Blanco, it's Chuck Garrick, the bass player for Alice Cooper, and Calico Cooper, Alice Cooper's daughter. They have a band together that kicks ass.
Yes.
This show is absolutely free.
So you have to go.
Yeah, you have no excuses.
Yeah. If you don't go, you're a chicken fucker.
Right.
Well,
we don't want you to be a chicken fucker.
What? Yeah. You are, so whatever.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Devil's Rejects.
There you go. Yeah. That's right.
That show has Driver and Down for Five opening up.
I mean, that's badass.
Yeah. Those 2 bands alone should get you out there. And now we've got Bisto Blanco on top of that.
A full night of original music at the IDL. I'm in.
It all kicks ass.
I'm in.
If you've never seen Down for Five, do yourself a favor.
Yep.
They're back after a hiatus. And they've only done a few shows in the past 6 or 8 months. So now's the perfect time for you to go see them.
And they're badass, yes.
That is very true. And coming up later in August 18th, Faster Pussycat is returning to Tulsa. They're playing the IDL. They've also got Don Jameson out on the road with them, doing his comedy, which is always fantastic. Those of you might remember him from that metal show. If you don't, just still go out there. He's great. And then Dead Metal Society is opening that, who is also great. And a couple of their members have been on this podcast more than once. We've had 9 on here twice. We've had Jason Gilardi. Check that out. And then moving on later in the year, October 5th, recently announced Sebastian Bach and Monty Pittman.
What the fuck?
Exactly,
yeah.
What the fuck in a good way.
Yep.
The voice of Skid Row and the guitarist from Madonna.
You saw Monty Pittman with Madonna, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, awesome.
He didn't play any metal, but he did have a few solos, and I mean,
Hey, that guy can fucking jam.
The guy's badass. His solo albums are great.
He went from Prong to Madonna. You can't fuck with that.
Yeah. He's out doing some shows with Sebastian Bach,
Yep.
playing his metal. It's not a bad thing to do if your day job is fucking touring the world with
Yep.
Madonna, right?
Exactly.
And not only that, you're going to get to hear every great Skid Row song of all time
Mm-hmm.
with Sebastian Bach, who still sounds great live. Then we've got November 3rd, Kix, who we've said this countless times, and I'll say it until this podcast falls off the edge of a cliff.
Yep.
This is one of the best bands you'll ever see live.
Do me with the top down. Then that's something I want to bring up.
Rolling in Honey.
Yes, they have classics. They have hits. But their newest album from a couple years ago is just as good, if not better, than anything they've ever done. If you guys are taking a piss while they play new songs, then you suck. And
You're also a chicken fucker.
Yeah, you're a chicken fucker, and you don't deserve to go to this show. So that's just how that is.
That's right. Then moving forward into December 8th, we've got LA Guns making their return, and Junkyard will be with them.
Fuck yeah.
Both great bands. Junkyard is a band that I've always wanted to see live, so super happy to see them live.
Yes.
LA
it's gonna be
Guns
great.
I've seen more than once. Tracy Guns is always a phenomenon that's highly underrated in the pantheon of rock and roll. So get out there and see both those bands as well. And there should be an announcement shortly on who's opening that show as well.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
believe you, you'll like it.
it's gonna fucking rule. We're not saying it yet, but y'all are gonna like it. So, and if you don't like it, again, chicken fucker.
Right.
All right, next.
All right. Well, thank you to DB Concerts for sponsoring this. And thank you to Vitz Screen Printing.
Of course.
All right. So, well, first off, let me mention we saw Dokken the other night. And I just want to say, I know Dokken's going to sound good. They always sound good. John Levin is a great, what's the right word? Duplicator of
Yes,
what he's doing, which is the sound of George Lynch.
of course.
And if you can sound like George Lynch and do it well, you're obviously a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Chris McCarville is an underrated phenomenon on the bass guitar. We've talked about that because he's been on this podcast.
Yes, he's been on the show.
And Mick Brown is solid as hell.
Yeah.
The thing I've always had about Dokken is the few times I've seen him in recent 10 years, you know, I wasn't truly impressed with the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's why when I saw this time, I was pretty surprised, you know, how great I thought he sounded. There was 2 or 3 songs where he was singing a little high that didn't sound perfect, but for the most part, across the board, I mean, several songs in, Scott from Rocket Science walked up to me, you know, and yelled in my ear. He's like, dude, this dude sounding great. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're right. You know, I was surprised because I went into it with not a negative attitude, but just an attitude of like,
Yeah.
whatever. And so I was pleasantly surprised by all that.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
speaking of
definitely.
Scott, you know, Rocket Science kicked ass as normal.
Oh yeah, they were great. I always love the Trooper with Janet singing.
Oh yeah.
We went. I had to work at 5 the next day, so didn't stick around for Dokken. But I definitely wanted to go and show my support for the opening bands. And pleasantly surprised with Rocket Science as always. I mean, they do what they do well, and they have it down to a fucking science, no pun intended. So yeah, I mean, I had a great time.
Yeah. And there was a couple points where the power cut, I guess.
Yeah.
during
Yeah,
it.
it did, and you know what? They're like, fuck it. They just bored through.
What was
and
really cool,
They didn't let it fucking mess
Was-
with them.
they kept playing, and
Yeah.
it cut like 2 different times while they were doing Rock of Ages,
Yeah,
and the crowd kept singing the song.
exactly.
And it wasn't just like the chorus; it was full verses. The crowd sang the full thing because it's obviously one of those songs that every human being that likes rock and roll knows
Yes,
every word to.
Exactly.
So it worked out in that respect that even though you're a band on stage, you don't want the fucking power to have any issue, but
Yeah,
the fact that it did that and that happened made it a cool thing.
that's right.
So
That's the power of rock and roll.
it's still beating.
See?
Yeah. Well, so the other night as well, this past weekend, you saw Dirty Boulevard. How was that?
Yes, that was great. Went to Murdoch's birthday bash. Dirty Boulevard, which features Drek's former drummer.
Greg Ocha Jr.
Yes, they were great. They had, they looked the part. They had a great presentation. You know, it was a good, you know, if you like, I don't even like to do, you know, labels or whatever. But I mean, if you like good, you know, hard modern rock, these guys, they're from Kansas City. These guys are what you need to look up. They're on Spotify, Dirty Boulevard, BLVD. Look them up. I mean, you know, they had fun. They had a fun vibe. They, you know, they played a show like they were playing to like a festival crowd.
Right.
And I really enjoyed it. So yeah, check these guys out.
Speaking of festival crowd, they recently played the Axis stage at Rocklahoma.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Kansas City's not fucking around. So
that's right. It's like every band that we've at least checked into.
Yep.
You know, has been great out there. Of course, our buddies in Custom Black
are
going to be coming back to Tulsa on October 19th or 20th.
The Thunder Underground Fest.
That's right.
That's right. I think I'm playing on that too.
I believe you are.
What in the fuck?
A band called Zen Hipster is making their return to the stage after a 5-year absence.
What was it? 5, 6?
I believe it was 5 years ago in the spring.
12, 10 before that.
So by that time, it'll be 5.5 years.
That's right. That's right. I'll wear my Dolly Parton shirt on stage. It'll be great.
Thank God. I've been waiting for that moment.
But no, Dirty Boulevard, fucking, those guys ruled. I was privileged to get to see them. It was awesome.
Very cool. I look forward to seeing them myself.
Yes, you need to, motherfucker.
Well, is that all we need to talk about? I'll admit that I saw Smashing Pumpkins the other night.
Well, I mean, if you want to admit that, go ahead. I'm just going to put a disclaimer out there right now, everybody. I have no part in this. I don't want to have any part in this.
Obviously, you weren't there.
Why would I be?
Why would any guy go to a show of a band he doesn't care about?
For a woman.
Usually that's the correct answer, right?
Well, you know what? I don't know, man. You're a better man than me because that band sucks ass, in my opinion.
See, the thing is, they're a band that I never thought sucked ass. I just, his voice grated on my nerves, you know, and James Iha's great. Obviously, Jimmy Chamberlain is fucking phenomenal. You know?
Sad bastard music.
Yeah,
okay,
but
I'm done.
There's stuff in there that's just musically, I could have really dug if it had a different vocalist, is all I'm saying.
Well, personally for me, I don't dig him, but what do I know? I don't know anything.
Well, no, that's fine.
People like him. That's great.
I used to literally hate him and talk shit on him, you know, but I kind of, over the years, you know, there's always a few songs that I thought were fine. And they played for 3 hours and 10 minutes.
That's insane to me.
Which is roughly 2 hours and 50 minutes longer than the first time I saw him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell everybody about the first time you saw him.
Because I saw him in 1992 in Oklahoma City as well, directly across the street at the Myriad Convention Center, which is now just like an event center for fucking conferences and stuff. But anyway, they opened for Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
And this was before, at least in this area of the country, I don't know about Chicago or anywhere else if they had hit yet, but Siamese, you know, Gifts obviously was out. Siamese Dream had came out, but they were not on the radio really.
Yeah.
It wasn't until a little bit after that Cherub Rock came out. So probably 98% of this crowd had no clue who this band was. Mm-hmm. I had seen the name before, but I didn't even know who they were. And they came out on stage and started playing Smashing Pumpkins music, and 20,000 or whatever it was Guns N' Roses fans didn't really appreciate it and
booed the fuck out of them.
Yeah, just kept booing constantly during the song, between the songs, and that's 20 minutes into it, he just said fuck you and they walked off the stage, which, I guess good for him. He's like, you didn't have to do it if you don't want to.
Well, and
so it's a good story too.
If there's one thing about that band that I could maybe be positive about, it's Cherub Rock. I halfway always maybe appreciated that song.
Yeah.
But everything else, done. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I don't know anything.
But for this, 3 hours and 10 minutes is impressive as hell for me. To me, any band that I saw Guns N' Roses do 3 hours and 20 minutes years ago, back when it was the, Axl Rose show before Slash and Duff came back. And I've seen, wasn't that Bruce Springsteen show right about 3 hours?
Fuck yeah. Yeah, it was.
So I mean, this is literally one of the longest shows I've ever seen from a single band continuously, and So,
I
in their tour, if you look at the dates, they're doing a shitload of dates. And I mean, to do that shit every night, I mean.
yeah. Well, I have to say, if I was a Smashing Pumpkins fan,
Yeah.
I'd fucking love it. A band that do 3 hours and 10 minutes is awesome.
That's what
Like,
that's what you hope every time you go to a show.
Yeah, I gotta think, pick one of my favorite bands. You know all my favorite bands.
Well, one of them
I know
does
all
close to
yours.
that. I mean, Metallica does 2.5 hours usually.
Yeah, they'll do 2.5 hours. But if fucking Metallica or Life of Agony or fucking Zach or fucking Megadeth did 3 hours, I'd be beside myself. It'd be fucking awesome.
You're lucky if you get Zach to an hour and a half.
No shit. I know. We're gonna find that out next weekend.
Yeah. Which has always kind of
Anyways,
annoyed
yeah.
me, but that's another subject.
Yeah.
Remember
I
that time
know.
we saw the Donnas and they played 15 minutes?
That was
so,
horse
I was so
goddamn
pissed
shit.
off.
It's like, you know what? And at that point, they had like 4 albums out.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
You've got to at least hit an hour and 20 minutes if you're a headliner.
If you're the headliner, yeah. I
on a
think
national touring act.
an hour 15, hour 20, you've got to at least do.
Yeah.
Unless you're like the Ramones or something, then you get away doing an hour because all your songs are like 1 minute and, fucking 48 seconds.
Right.
So, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about let's slip the dogs.
Yeah. We just did this. It's great. They fucking rule. I saw them at Halata Fest. I think that was the night you were sick, I think, right?
No, I was there.
Oh, okay. I got it mixed up.
Unless I saw him another time at Shrine after.
No,
that.
I don't know. I mean, no, go ahead. You're right. Whatever.
I think it was a different show after that. Remember we were up there? Well, regardless. I saw him at the Shrine
it was
this
fucking
year.
awesome.
And, seen him a couple other times. I was fortunate enough to see one of the acoustic shows they did as well. We talked about that in here as well.
So to finally talk to these guys in depth too,
Yeah.
and introduce some new music is just a fucking honor.
Yeah, these 4 songs that we're going to hear throughout this interview, they said we're the first people that's heard them.
Definitely.
And
So
and then
check
you're
this,
about to be some of the next people to hear them.
Yes, check this out. These 4 songs. This is going to be the only place you can hear these songs for the next couple of weeks.
Right.
So
Unless you get a ticket to their show.
yes,
At the
definitely.
Vanguard this Saturday night. You'll hear this a couple times in the interview.
Yep.
Go to the Vanguard July 21st. If you buy the ticket from them, it comes with the album, the 4-track EP. And then you can also, just if you're at the show, get it from there at the merch table.
Definitely.
And then 2 weeks from now, you can get it digitally as well.
For sure.
But this band, I think I mentioned it last time we saw them. I was like, this is like, I'm watching them and I'm like, this is like my new favorite band just because you watch them and it's just so, like they talk about in here, it's different every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just phenomenal. You got a trio of phenomenal musicians just making music that I love. And it's like, I always said my first instinct was to call them, they're kind of like a stoner band, but no, they're kind of like a prog band, but no, they're kind of like a jam band.
Yeah.
If a jam band was heavy,
Well, like here's something I want to talk about, which, I mean, I'll just be completely honest. I wrestled with how to bring this up in the interview and I wasn't sure how to do it. So I didn't,
Okay.
but like they, to me, they harken back to, and it's funny that he mentioned Ugly Kid Joe at one point because you had all these, when we were kids watching Headbangers Ball, you had all these bands that were like kind of funky, like Scatterbrain and Animal Bag and, shit like that. And then like Ugly Kid Joe was kind of the forefront of that. If you could get away from all the douchebags that were just putting Ugly Kid Joe in as a hairband. So you had that going on, 247 Spies, that kind of shit.
Circus of Power.
So
kind of.
yeah, it harkens back to that. And I didn't know of a good way to bring that up without being like, dated or anything. But now that, we drove back and we're talking and I can kind of, express it a little bit better.
Right.
So that's what and so when he said Ugly Kid Joe, it just like totally clicked and I'm like, fuck yeah. So I think these guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's just so fun to listen to these songs. They make me feel like I'm 15 again, but at the same time, they're not dated.
That's right. Yeah.
And that to me is a pretty important power to have. So, I was so happy to talk to these guys and get these guys on the show finally.
Yeah, and the fact that they're all big King's X fans, and
Oh,
that
totally.
you can hear that throughout.
Yeah,
That's one of the
definitely.
most prominent things that I hear.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to compare it to anybody, it's like
For
King's
sure.
X if they were a little bit heavier,
Yeah, definitely.
But so should we just quit wasting time and let's get into this?
Yeah, I don't know why we're still talking.
That's right.
And listen to this interview and listen to these songs. You got to do it.
Yeah, we got Mike Onion Man Hansen in this band now, along with
Yes.
Travis and Brian. So check this out. Let's slip the dogs.
Actually, the only reason that I really wanted to see the Plums last night because it had been a long time, and those two are just badass every time I see them. But I was gonna get a shirt to wear next weekend, and I got there halfway through Tony and Romanello's set, maybe 30 minutes into it, whatever. And Plums had already sold out of their shirts.
Really?
And I was like,
Well, that's
shit.
cool. That's all right.
No, I was happy for
Yeah,
them,
that
but it
they
means I
had
didn't get a
some
shirt.
This guy used to play with Romanello.
Was
all the time.
Romanello first?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
cool.
Romanello played, what was it, 9 to like 10:45,
Really?
and almost 11, and then the Plums came on. Oh no, he played till after 11. That's right.
Yeah.
They were supposed to start at 11:30. Plums were, and they didn't start till about 11:45. But
Yeah, we did so many shows with Tony Romanello back in the day.
really,
Love that guy. Yeah.
it
awesome.
was I had never seen him. I still didn't meet him. I was
Really.
in such pain. I just waited. I watched him about
Mhm.
45 minutes of blows and took off. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta go home.
I ran sound for Romanello last time he was at the Hunt Club. They got through one set, we got a downpour and had to pull the system.
Really.
Wow.
Wow.
And so they didn't get to finish the show. But they called me and last week, I guess it was the bass player, and said, "Hey, man, can you come run sound?" I was like, "I'm already booked, bro. You got to get me a little earlier than that."
Yeah.
So,
Bass player.
So that's what you do?
this and that, and I'm the guitar player from the David Castro band. I still get royalties from that, and I was a guitar player from Bait. I still get royalties from that. So it's kind of how I do my living. But for the almost 9 years now, I've made my living entirely off of music. So
That's awesome.
Awesome. I envy you.
well, it hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be.
It's work.
Doesn't make good songs if it's easy.
Well, one of my questions, actually, you mentioned David Castro. You guys played together
Mhm.
Yes.
before starting Let's Slip the Dogs. So how did that help develop into what this became?
I
And that was a totally different style of music, but
it basically is solely responsible for it. I was really trying just to get into the music scene here in Tulsa after I moved here from Enid, and was really hesitant to try anything new. And I had joined a little metal band with Never Made It Out of the Bedroom called Frostvale, and it was a lot of fun. But about the same time, they started looking for a bass player. Jim Bob had decided to leave. Jim Bob from Screaming Red.
Yeah.
He was prior to me in David Castro band, and he had decided to move on and do some other things. And so my wife basically was tired of listening to me bitch about not playing live and said, "You're gonna go try out." She said, "No, it's not metal, but you're gonna go do it anyway," because I kept listening to the songs, and she could tell that there was something that was drawing me there, And because of that, we got to know each other, and I started talking to Brian about his origins, and he mentioned Bait, and he showed me all that stuff. It was like, oh, he does like the heavy move, Castro decided to move to California, and about that time was when my other band was disintegrating. I went and stayed in Denver for a few months and came back, and we when Castro left, I just turned and said, "Well, okay, you want to play some heavy music now?" And that's how it started. Actually, our first rehearsal was 3 years ago today.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I think also something that helped us out is since you and I had already played together, we were already at that point where we almost knew what the other one was thinking as a player,
Mm-hmm.
and I could pick up on that and mesh really well. So the writing, even some of the stuff that we just got in the studio and just jammed out, see, riffs we were crying out, things like that, came together a lot faster for us that way.
Yeah, Castro Band was a very tight band, and in becoming as tight as we were, we learned each other's tendencies, like you said, and that it just transcribed over to the heavier music. There are still people that say we're not metal. I don't quite understand it,
Especially after they hear what we're going to hear today.
Yeah.
But
I laugh at those people.
but I think we branch into those aspects like King's X and some of those other bands that just they love the melodies and the harmonics and get to the grooves and sometimes just go off in jams, and that chemistry of knowing where each other is going to go, it just has to be there, and that's what makes Onion fit so well with us. Is that we came together at jam night,
Gotcha.
So improvising and just growing to learn each other, which he and I clicked right away when we started jamming. There was definite chemistry, and that's really hard to do. Without actually knowing what you're going to play, if you don't go, okay, we're coming in and we're going to play Master of Puppets, learn it,
Yeah.
But just to go and feel each other the way that is, that's a cool bond,
Yeah.
and that's something that I share with Brian and they share with each other, that we can, part of our sets do include jams.
Yeah.
And they won't be the same anytime you hear this.
So like, I mean, is there moments where in a live set you guys just go off and you don't know what you're?
Yes.
That's fucking awesome, because I couldn't do that. I'd be too goddamn scared. So
We have kind of
That's fucking
a
great.
skeleton we stick to, and when somebody hears the change coming that they recognize, that's the cue that we're going to the next part. But sometimes the jams will be, like our song Astroglide has been a 3-minute song, and it's been an 8-minute song.
Okay.
It just...
So it's never a thing like, okay, when we get to this point in the song, we're going to go off. It just naturally happens.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like
So-
that with every song we play, of course.
And because some of the ways that we were actually playing the licks that night in a jam changes a little bit, something that Mikey does, Onion Man does,
Thank you.
I grew up in Ninja
will
Turtles.
cause me, like if he does something on the snare, will cause me to do something different about the way I'm doing, and the next thing that just snowballs, and builds and builds and builds to a fevered pitch, and then we pull the reins back a little bit.
I like that term, snowballs.
Yes.
It's what, if you look at his Pornhub history, it's up there.
yeah.
Oh Lord.
That's
I mean,
beautiful.
we get into some Clerks references, right? Right?
Oh, Kevin Smith is my hero. I love it.
He's got a new TV show.
I know. He's also
Really?
got a new
Yeah.
weed dispensary, too.
His show's about being a weed dealer.
She sucked 37
Oh, maybe
dicks
that's what it was that I saw.
In a row?
in a row.
Not to suck any dick on your way through the parking lot.
Yes.
Hey, get back here, get back here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you go through the credits in Clerks 2, you can see my name in there, actually.
Really.
Yeah, during the MySpace days, they had a deal where if you were friends with the Clerks 2 MySpace page, your name ended up in the credits.
Oh,
I gotta fucking look that up now.
Yeah, it's in there.
Jesus.
You're probably
You
don't even
and
know.
I
Yeah.
are in the credits for Vivica Fox and what's Julia Roberts? What's her brother's name? Eric Roberts. They're in a movie called So This Is Christmas. At the very end, it's got the David Castro Band listed
Nice.
on that one.
Why is that
See,
music
now,
in it, or
now
what?
I learned something today.
Some of the members were quote unquote the musicians and the backup band on stage on several scenes or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, we were eye candy, for the show. I don't know how sweet that was. But
I want to be eye
first
candy
movie-
on a movie.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
But
I want to be in the same room as Vivek A. Fox. Personally.
oh man,
By
she didn't have
God.
to speak, and you're like having a hard time breathing.
For sure.
Well, you mentioned chemistry with this guy. What else did he bring to the fold that might not have been there before?
Oh,
Yeah, what did I
the
bring to the
heartbeat.
Oh,
Besides
Oh,
Snowball,
that's
yeah.
sweet. That's good. I like the heartbeat.
I mean, this guy's a badass player. I've seen him many, many moons ago. He's always been a badass drummer.
oh,
so.
he is. He's insanity. He's,
yeah.
the thing that Onion does very, very well is he beats the shit out of his drums, but he also understands when to rein it back. He knows his dynamics better than some drummers I've worked with in the past or that I've seen in other bands, that when the groove doesn't suit, you beating the hell out of it. But beyond that, he has, and he's still exploring and learning it, but he has a beautiful voice. And he,
stop it.
he and I have another band together, and he's taking more lead vocals in that band, and I want to get to where he sings, and he does some leads in our cover sets as well, but I'd like to utilize that voice. Kenny had a voice also when he was in the band, and we'd do some King's X songs and stuff, but this is just a perfect vocal blend. I think that is one of the things that he brings more than anything, is we have this, our 3-part harmonies are tight now. They're getting there. I mean,
Yeah.
But that was the most surprising thing. When I recruited him, I had no clue he could sing. It was,
Nice.
At the time, I only kind of knew.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I wanted to do it. I'm like, I've done background vocals on a bunch of other stuff. I did all kinds of background vocals when I was with Sweat and Bullets. So
Yeah.
why not expand on that? See what else I can do.
So did they kind of bring it out of you a little bit more?
They definitely did. For one thing, I know I'm going to have fun in a band with anybody who has any kind of King's X inspiration. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
If they like King's X, I'm going to have fun playing with them. Plus, it's really a vibe thing. What they come up with seems so natural to them, and they write better than most other musicians that I've had the chance to work with. And I've worked with a lot. I've whored myself all over this town, man. I got broken in by the members of Freak Show, Dave Mooney, Soup David Thomas, Dreads,
Fucking
Brian
Dave
Lee.
Mooney, man. Goddamn.
Oh yeah, he's the man.
Shit, I was watching
Yeah.
Soupy Soul last night when I was a little bit lit up after Hunt Club. It was Soup Bone and Sky Slater.
Oh God,
Dude, if you guys haven't seen that
That
video,
combo
it's insane,
is-
man.
that's great.
But, yeah.
But yeah, it's not just skill; it's the vibe. They make me feel very, very welcome for one thing, and how we get along has just as much of an impact on how we play as what we can do. I would say.
Yeah.
Yes. So you had me at hello.
Oh. Don't worry, I'll never put baby in the corner.
Oh, God.
Not without some talking better and electrical tape, anyway.
Well, I've always wondered because you see drummers doing background vocals and on occasion lead vocals. Is it when you first started doing the background vocals? Was it hard to get used to singing at the same time as playing, or did it
A
just
little
come-
bit. For one thing, you can't entirely project and breathe the same way while you're playing drums as you would, like, say, playing on a guitar or just singing by yourself. Because you're already using that breath to do everything else that you're doing. Rhythmically, it got kind of difficult to get used to, but the first kind of background vocals that I did was more like long sustained marcatos, like oohs and ahs and shit like that. And then I started pronunciating, and part of that was because I didn't know the fucking lyrics to the songs. And then once I learned more of that, and I
I
started
don't
pronouncing it while I was playing, it just got a little easier and easier. So the best way to learn something is just to do it,
Sure.
and it's fun.
But you guys took kind of a hiatus when you were doing the drummer search, right? I mean, you did acoustic shows, but were you just taking your time or just waiting for the right guy to show up?
Waiting for the right guy. We had a... Oh, here, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, we were really waiting for the right guy. In fact, I told him after Kenny left, I said, let's not just grab whoever that seems like they might fit. Let's take our time and find the right person. And then he started telling me about this guy at Jam Night. Turned out to be Onion Man, you know. And
Blackbird
I went
on
up to
Pearl
Jam-
every Tuesday night, 9
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah.
It's
And I went out to
fantastic.
that jam, and I hadn't been out that jam in a while. And I jammed with Onion Man that night, and when we were driving off, I told Travis, that's our guy. And he goes, well, I've talked to him about coming over, but I can't get him to come over. We had to coax him a little bit.
I
Had to
played.
lift
Yeah.
the skirt and show him the knee, you know.
I did play a little hard to get. This was around this time that I was trying to branch out on my own because, as I said before, I've hoarded myself all over town. I've done a lot of people's projects where I just kind of jump in and fill in the spot that somebody else couldn't hang or had to leave for various reasons, blah, blah, blah. So it's the same case scenario with them, but for one thing, I got Travis in my band that I got started. And that's going along pretty smoothly here in the future, but that's a story for another time. And yeah, I just had to make sure that I wasn't walking into the same scenario where I'm just kind of the hired gun. I wanted to be in a band where I felt truly appreciated. Not that I haven't in the past, but
Yeah.
it's that extra level. It's like,
Yeah,
no, you're one of us.
Oh, yeah.
Onion Man, I want to have your baby.
You two worked that out.
Man, do we need to leave or let you
You
go?
know, all
stay.
I'm thinking about is
Let's get
back
weird.
paying
Yeah.
for a lot of t-shirts.
Too hot, Travis.
Said all I know is that if that worked out, would pay for the rest of our t-shirt. We could definitely afford to do more than a small pressing at that point in time.
So this new EP, talk about just kind of the writing and the recording, just kind of, talk about the...
Well, we needed a good demo of what we do as the full band electric show, because a few people have heard us the acoustic thing, and there's been some that's heard us electric, but, to really kind of get us to the next level, we've been purposely only doing this show no more than once a quarter in town because we didn't want to saturate the audience, and it gives us time to kind of work up a new tune each time or two, and really get them perfected, make them sound better. So,
We definitely agree with the idea that the Deadhead of never playing the same show twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it fun for everybody. If you can engage the people that have been down from day one every time by adding something new, you're gonna keep them hooked. So, and having that anticipation between shows helps us out a little bit too. But we've had a couple just live room demos in the past, and we've been wanting to do this tracking for a while. Some of these songs, Foretold and Siren Song, both of those were within the first 4 songs we started playing 3 years ago. We just never had the longevity with the drummer. It was really hard to ever get anything off the ground. When we started, we had Gary Buchanan, and he was with us for a few months, and we did just this little sampler live thing at Blackbird, just 2 or 3 songs, and came out, and we're starting to get ready to get geared up, and then Gary had to leave the band, and then we ended up with another guy, and then Kenny, and Kenny was around just about the time we were ready to start recording. That ended up, he decided to go his own way with other influences, and he ended up in a new house and all kinds of stuff. He's doing really great.
and he'll get the show.
Oh yeah, and he'll be there at our show, July 21st at the Vanguard.
This Saturday, we have tickets.
They are $10 in advance, $12 at the door, but you want to buy your advance tickets from us because
Definitely.
you get a free copy of this demo we're talking about. See that shameless plug there?
That was good.
Yeah. Okay, but we finally had the right back into the conversation, but we finally had the solidarity and the continuity that we needed to finally start tracking, and we didn't want to go out of our way and spend a lot of money. It's easy to spend a lot of money in a very short time at a studio. So we just did it all ourselves. We recorded out in our jam pad. Brian took the controls as producer on this one, and we've emailed tracks back and forth and just listened. But it'll be 4 songs: "Standing Tall," "Foretold," "Election Song," or "Siren Song" and "Election Song," in that order. Siren Song and "Election Song." Yeah. It's a pretty nice little dichotomy. It doesn't quite get as jammy as we can get. It still keeps a little heavy atmosphere all the way through it, but it's definitely showcases some of our harmonies and things like that, and it'll be a good first step for the EPKs and things like that.
Yeah,
moving up to the bigger level shows that's kind of the next step. You know, where our name's starting to get out there. People are starting to recognize things. We were ready to send people home with something. You know,
Right.
we've been doing this way, like I said, for 3 years, and we've had a sticker pretty much. We've been on the back of 3 or 4 show shirts, but we've never actually had our own shirt.
That all changes this week. Yeah,
That all
because
changes this week.
We'll have T-shirts, the demo. We have the old sticker. We have a new sticker.
I think so. I'm not promising the new sticker, but I think so.
It's not printed.
It's not printed yet. I'm gimpy right now. Leave me alone.
Ask Red to print it.
We'll get it taken care of.
We love you, Red.
Yeah. So we will finally have lots of merch, and it just feels like we're moving up. We're finally headed in the right direction. We've had enough time and enough growth, and just the songs have taken on a new life anyway, and away we go. You know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for this release. I really hope people like it. It's still rough. We wanted to leave it a little bit rough. It's not a polished studio recording. We actually intend on going back at some point and putting all of these on a great big master CD, you know, a full-length album. And these will probably end up being scratch tracks, you know. But they're really good scratch tracks.
Yeah. So you said you recorded everything here?
Yeah, it was kind of limited gear, limited situation or whatever, but you work with what you got,
So you kind of took the production reins?
Yeah, I used to have a recording studio here, and I sold a bunch
Gotcha.
of the gear off or whatever, and I do live engineering as well, work at a lot of the casinos around town and
Okay.
around in the northeastern Oklahoma, and do some festivals and some national acts as well. So, yeah.
We're his sound crew, too.
So yeah, they're my sound crew whenever I take my rig out, and then I having known the studio before, and I had the tools here to do it. I didn't have necessarily all the right tools, So I was like, hey guys, let's think of this more of a demo and more pre-production for an actual recording, and but I think we went pretty further along than that actually with it. It sounds better than that.
It sounds better than I thought it was going to. I'm not gonna lie. It came out as this is a nice quality demo. Don't be fooled by the word demo. We should be calling it an EP, just not to
In
throw
fact, it
people off.
actually has a title too.
Oh yeah, we have decided it. I should mention things like that. You're good at this. Damn. Yeah, we call it "We Raise the Leg."
So
it's kind of there's some opinionated stuff on there in a way, I guess you could say, and it's kind of just the old dog mantra: if you can't eat it or hump it, piss on it.
Yeah. I like it.
pretty much.
And that's exactly what my dog does, because he is old. So fucking that's the
Yours
truth.
is the Basset Hound, right?
Yes.
Oh my god, I love Basset Hounds. Man.
Yep.
I love old dogs, but
Well-
those big old ears. Yeah.
You said eat it, hump it, then piss on it, right? It's actually in that order.
Mhm.
How do you hump it after you eat it?
No. If you can't eat it, you can't hump it, then you piss on it.
I thought you said you.
That's the test. They try to eat it first. Then if they can't eat it, they hump it. If they can't hump it, then they piss on it. Right? Okay.
There you
I
go.
just want to make sure we got that straight.
I'm glad you're in tune now. I'm more
This
lost
should have
than
been the
ever,
tracks
but-
that you
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
but-
leads me to another question, which is a completely fucking generic question, but I'll ask it because, this is an interesting name, is where the name come from. That's
Let's
kind of
Let the
something.
Dogs?
Yeah, that's kind of something I
It's
always.
like LSD
It's
with
from
the
the
T in it.
soliloquy from Julius Caesar,
Right? So
Shakespeare, when he says, "Cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war."
Oh,
You always hear
okay,
things
yeah.
emphasis on the dogs of war, dogs of war, dogs of war, but
Or Cry Havoc.
there's
Cry Havoc's a big deal too.
Cry havoc,
Cry
yeah.
Havoc, Dogs of War. You
yeah,
hear that a
Dogs
lot,
of
but
War, like
nobody-
every other thing. Yeah, I've heard that
And-
forever. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
and there's that action of let slip the dogs means to loose the dogs or release them.
Yes.
You know, and in that time it meant that these dogs were ravenous and ready to chomp on somebody's ass. You know,
Release the home.
You know?
Yeah, yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
So. So there's
Yeah.
the whole action required to make
Cool,
that happen, you know.
Yeah.
Who's a hungry
Let's look
boy?
at dogs.
Who's a hungry boy? You go get him.
Yeah, but that's where it comes from. That's why our first logo, if you go back and look, it's a picture of the statue of Caesar. Yeah.
Nice.
It's Shakespeare. We thought we were trying to be smart.
Hell yeah.
Not many metal bands that
You are very
Shakespeare.
bright.
I'm not bright.
You are very bright.
I'm bright. Okay.
Well, you mentioned a couple of the songs on this are that you've had for a while.
Mhm.
So whenever Onion Man came into the fold here, did you let him just
He
take
writes his
control over
own parts.
adding to those two songs,
Yeah.
that kind of thing?
He's
Yeah.
actually a little bit ticked at me because he didn't get to hear one of the recordings before he recorded the song, and he heard it after and went, "I like that. I would have used some of that," but I wouldn't let him listen. I wanted his input.
They gave me a little scratch track of basically him, the both of them singing and playing the songs with no drums. So I would just kind of figure out what I'm going to put in there. Had I known that you had past tracks that had drum tracks on them, I could have added a little bit more perspective on it. But no, they had me pretty much write all the parts.
But we
myself.
like what you did, so.
Well, I like what I do too.
Well, and now you can listen to those tracks, and if you still want to incorporate things, go ahead. But I just wanted you to mold it your way because, like I said, you're kind of a badass.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
You guys have fun music. It's a lot easier for me if it's fun, and it is fun.
Speaking of also material, this Saturday night we'll be letting loose a new tune.
It'll be an interesting one. I'm excited to try and attempt to sing this one. It's actually another older song though. It's one I wrote quite a while back. When we had the big Oklahoma wildfires rolling through the.
Oh yeah.
Not the most recent ones, but this would have been 2010, somewhere in there.
Okay.
The name of the song is Waves. You wouldn't know that by the way it's spelled, but it is called Waves, and it's a lot of fun. It's a little bit eco-friendly, a little bit hippie, but then it's a little Mike Patton, and it's
She loves.
oh yeah, I know Mike Patton is big influence on me. I've seen everything.
Yeah, that was the first influence that I guessed out of you was Mike Patton, as far as your voice was concerned, and your style of writing, for that matter. It's like, oh my god, am I playing for Mr. Bungle? This is awesome! Squeeze
I
me,
need to-
macaroni!
I am not playing two saxophones at once, man.
Not with that attitude.
Good point. Good point.
Be positive, goddammit.
No, I saw Bungle, and their sax player played two saxes at once.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. No. I'm out on that one. I can play a sax. I'm not playing two.
Ladies, be mindful of a sax player.
They're so sexy.
Hmm.
That went the wrong direction real quick.
Well, do we want to
Listen to a
talk
song.
about each of these songs and intro them, and
Sure.
so we can play them here on the podcast?
All right.
Awesome.
Yes. Exclusive rights for 2 weeks. We love these guys, and we appreciate everything that they do. So for 2 weeks,
Thank you.
this will be the only online source for this stuff. If you don't get a physical copy from us for 2 weeks, this is the only place you'll be able to hear it.
And the only way you can get a physical copy from us for the next 2 weeks is to buy a ticket from us, or at least show up at the show and get one off the table.
Yeah, you can get one off the table, but I recommend buying the tickets from us. It's easier that way. But the first track that we're going to do is Standing Tall. It's a song, about the hardships and shit's gone to hell and blah, 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 but we've made it through. And be it going through 97 drummers to get to a live set for an hour, or be it relationship troubles, or whatever the case may be, here we are.
Oh yeah.
You might want to.
Oh, yeah.
You
I'm
can
right.
replug that right there. It's not super loud,
All right.
It'd be like the old, what were those, Maxell? Was that the tapes with the...
Yeah, where it blew the guy.
Where it
across
blew the
room.
chair backwards?
Yeah.
And with the...
He'd put his sunglasses on. And
All right.
It's a Flight of the Valkyries, isn't it?
This is Standing Tall.
Well, we made it here through hell and high water. Those late Tulsa summers couldn't get much harder. But the drinking and the fighting had made it too far. It may be a miracle, but here we are. Here we are. Here we are. I couldn't have seen that we'd see what we saw.
I mean,
That's it.
the thing I love about your guys' music is I don't even know how to explain it to someone.
Good.
I mean, like if
Awesome.
someone said, "What kind of music is it?" You know.
Perfect. We nailed it. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. I think that's why sometimes people don't necessarily rush to call us metal.
Right.
We've got some, you know. This definitely, I said earlier, it doesn't show as jammy as we get. It also doesn't show as heavy as we get. This demo is kind of just right in the middle. Yeah, or this EP. I'm gonna stop that. This EP is kind of right in the middle. We definitely wanted something we could submit to different applications, you know, whether it be for the heavier shows or for even, you know, maybe some of the festivals and things like that. Not necessarily Rocklahoma or any of those, but some of those where it might be a little more jammy on the back end, where, you know, a nice hook and stuff like that helps. You know, we like this. But we do get heavy. We got some in the works that are just getting heavier and heavier. And once we get to coffee, I think people will stop saying that.
Yeah, there's a song. You haven't even mentioned coffee. The song is absolutely fucking bonkers. Okay, from start to finish, it is a
I
very
did good on this
fast-paced,
one.
very hard song to play. But there will be no doubt in anyone's mind that they call us metal after they hear that.
It's gonna be fun though. But I love the fact that we can do that and then turn around and play something like Twisted Fairy Tale, I already know, and just go completely the other end and reach those people that miss their 80s power ballads, you know, and write those pretty songs that people don't necessarily expect to hear at a show sometimes, you know. I mentioned the Death Heaven show going the other night and seeing this band that was metal, awesome. And then in the middle of the two heavy bands, there was this two-piece synth pop thing that was completely unexpected, but people just stood there in amazement because it's damn good, the band, you know. I really can't remember. Something Drab. Drab Majesty. That's what it was.
Nice.
They're pretty cool, man. It was very interesting music. Very... What was his name? The dude that did Cars. Gary something.
Gary Newman.
Gary Newman. Very Gary Newman in a way.
See.
Yeah. And so that being in the middle, we like to think that maybe we can just give you all of those things in one show. You don't even have to change the lineup. We're just going to give you all of it.
Hell yeah.
What kind of music do you play? All of it.
All the music.
We play both kinds, country and western.
So
Woo!
Just don't throw beer bottles.
you're in
at it.
Oklahoma, you can just say red dirt, otherwise they don't understand.
Oh, Jesus. Don't get me started. Next song.
Next song.
Subject change.
Before Told's the next song.
Okay.
And this is one of the older ones he was speaking of earlier. That was one of the first couple of songs that we ever worked on together.
Mhm.
And is there anything you want to say about it? You wrote the lyrics on this.
This one is, I actually even wrote this before, or started writing it, I should say. It's never finished until you bring it to us, the band. But even before I did Castro Band and all that stuff, it's a little bit introspective. A lot of my songs can tend to deal with mental health issues. It's an issue or a topic that's prevalent in a lot of my lyrics, and this is one of them. But it's while it's looking at myself, it's also pointing the finger at those that are saying blah blah blah. But when you look at their life, it's the same thing. You know, you may think you have it better than me, but when you break it down, you're in the same place. And the difference is just these little things in my head that and you know, it's a mental health battle.
You know how we were talking about Mike Patton influence? Here's an example.
Gotcha.
Little Mustang going on in there too, I think.
What
I was gonna say that he says Mike Patton in this one. I always hear Megadeth when I listen to this song.
you know,
I don't know.
you said you've had this for a while. What made now the right time to get this one going?
It was once upon a time supposed to be on a different album for a different band, and it's just a good song that I feel good when I play.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, the important part about songs. Sometimes you play songs that you just don't care about. But every now and then you get to write those songs that feel good. And sometimes you need a certain song just to get through a day. Or at least I do. I shouldn't say you. I do. And I think the day that I brought this to Brian, and at that point Gary, it was one of those days where I just needed to play this song. And we jammed it, and they liked it. And so we kept it in the mix and blah, blah. I didn't actually think this was going to be on the demo. Foretold is on there because of this dude.
Yep.
Onion
Really?
Man
Nice.
bargained with me. I had a different song that I wanted on there, and we were actually going to do what was the other one? What was the one I wanted to do?
I don't even remember.
I don't either. He had a good idea, though. It worked out well.
I got my way. I don't care what you thought.
That's exactly right. But so I apparently wrote something that he caught on to too, and it's one of those topics that doesn't go away. I think that's why it's the right time, because it's one song that I think just doesn't go away, and I think you'll hear us play it at live shows for a long time. So we I think it's important to be one of the first ones out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it.
I find me needy at best. Consistently I'm depressed. My sanity is regressed. My will will come crashing down. It is foretold. And so this Ferris wheel spins as I'm approaching the end. My nightmare soon will begin, and I will die all alone. It's foretold. I find you colder than death, no beating heart in your chest, entirely too repressed. Your well will come crashing down. It is foretold. No one will come by to play because you push them away. A bridge burned every day, and you will die all alone. It's foretold. Push the world away. It's easy to achieve, but when you're left alone, don't come to meet it free. We are the ones to blame. Our solitude is on our hands. We broke the ties that bind. It's time to change if you believe. I find me needy at best. Consistently I'm depressed. My sanity is regressed. My will come crashing down. It is foretold. No one will come by to play because I push them away. A bridge burned every day, and I will die all alone.
That's a fun song to play.
Yeah, it sounds like it is.
Breakdown's always a blast.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I definitely hear what, the Patton and the Mustaine thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I enjoy that, yeah. That's awesome.
I'm glad you got your way, because that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Right on.
Not saying the other song wasn't great. I haven't heard it, but.
I don't even remember what it was, so maybe it wasn't great. Maybe that's the tell. No, all our songs are great. Don't listen to Travis. Don't
This
listen.
song needed to come out, dude.
No, it's a great song. I love it. I'm really glad that we resurrected it and that Onion got his way, because the harmony parts were always something that I heard in my head. And even the first time I started laying this song down on that previous album, I didn't ever have the harmonies. If I did them, I had to do them myself, and it doesn't
Mhm.
accomplish the same thing. It just doesn't. But nobody in that band sang. they would scream with me sometimes, but that was about the extent of it. And so now that I can pitch these things like those, it changed the whole song. And it's so cool. I dig it. I'm really glad you got your way too, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
he hates it when I'm right too. I mean, don't worry about it.
It's a vicious cycle.
I was wrong once, man. It was a Tuesday.
No, you were mistaken about that.
Oh, I was mistaken. That must have been on a Tuesday too.
Yeah.
No, I said you were mistaken about being wrong.
So, Siren Song's up.
Siren Song's up.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a newer song. That actually, it's funny how
It's not. This is the very first song. This is the very first song we started working on.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was thinking about
I wish I had a buzzer.
election song. Election song. This
No, yeah,
the word
election
song is
song's one of the
they were
newest
throwing
ones.
me off with the song names in here. I was thinking the other one and this one. All right. Anyway, yeah. So Siren Song.
Yeah, Siren Song's one of the very first song we started working on. 3 years ago today. It was the first
Oh, wow.
song we played at practice.
The other side of your political contact, though, gets into mythology, and be it Vikings or be it sirens, calling you to your death. So
Yeah, I'm a nerd. This was... I was sitting on my front porch.
Correction, we are nerds.
That's true. We are all nerds. Yeah.
we're all wearing Star Trek T-shirts with this.
Yours is a t-shirt? Mine's the full uniform, you poser.
Well, only my red uniform was clean, so
Don't wear the red one out.
I don't want to wear that one out to an outing.
You won't come
Yeah.
back. And you won't come back.
So anyway, yeah, Siren Song.
No, that I do love mythology. I always have, but I was sitting on my front porch, and now that Oklahoma is a medical marijuana state, I'll just say I was medicating myself, and it just so happens that my neighborhood was flooding. Like, they evacuated my whole neighborhood, but my house is the only one up on a hill.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed put. And as I was sitting there and playing, this riff came to me. I was playing it on my acoustic guitar. I ended up moving it to the bass because it just sounds very cool and very Claypool-y in a way. But I just started imagining in my head, what if, all the sirens that were out in the seas were able to finally swim into the neighborhoods and take people. And that's kind of what this one's about. Is just
Gotcha.
It's a fictional idea of sirens moving into the neighborhoods and calling people to their deaths. And at one point it breaks down to the little old man sitting at the gas station in every horror movie you've ever seen,
Yeah.
telling his side of the
Or
story.
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yep.
Siren still
You
exists.
don't want to
just
go
not
that way.
You
Yeah.
don't want to go that way, boy.
It was last summer. I remember it was like it was Tuesday.
Oh, she's that girl. Stay away from that.
But yeah,
So you wrote this like sitting up on a hill watching everybody else run for their lives and you're just chilled out, basically.
Yeah, basically, me and the dog.
Have fun, assholes!
yeah.
I wouldn't drive through that puddle. Told you so. No, it was really interesting though because the water was knee high in my neighborhood.
Wow.
I mean, so
Scary.
we were swimming through the streets, and there was a guy down the neighborhood that brought a canoe by. Kind of hoping it happens again sometime, to be honest. It was a pretty good time. It was quiet around the neighborhood. Nobody else was there.
All right, it's a siren song. Here we go.
down, we're about 10:15. I heard a scream and I ain't seen you boys again. So little bubble all that I found in the cold. The silence is singing a song.
I think that bass bend at the end cracks me up every time. It's the slowest bend of all time.
Yeah, you mentioned Claypool, and I definitely hear in the music, not just the bass, and like even the guitar has a Primus feel to it to me. It's almost like if Primus was a doom band or something, you know?
I'll take that. I'll take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Man, fuck yeah.
I was just noticing him, those that Matt lists it and trying to be objective and listening to the mix. I was hearing Clutch also.
Yeah.
And they're big
We're
influence.
definitely
Yeah.
Clutch fans. They're badass.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, they're so good.
This is something that I wanted to make sure I brought up whenever I was on Thunder Underground finally, because you two are like two of the only people that I know that just rant and rave about another band that's a huge influence on me, and that's Ugly Kid Joe. And there's
God,
some
you know what?
Madman and some other stuff inside.
It's like, I
Yeah.
didn't even think about it until you said that, and I'm like, exact. It makes perfect goddamn sense.
Yes. No, Whitfield
Fuck
Crane,
yeah.
dude, was, and Sonny Mayo. I mean, he's playing with them now. I know why they don't come to the U.S., but if they came close,
I
man,
know.
I'd be
Yeah.
fucking jumping in my car somewhere, man.
Dude, they never got the fuck. They got lumped in with the fucking hair bands, and I think that was bullshit.
I do too. man.
They're way fucking. Dude, don't get me started. Don't get me fucking
No.
started.
Whitfield Crane's like one of the most underrated
Yeah,
vocalists.
no
No doubt. That whole band, though, man,
Yeah.
they were just a great band, and they were another the one that was able to take you, with Madman and Neighbor and some of these raunchier songs, and then drop down to Cats in the Cradle and Busy Bee, and
Exactly.
just go all over the place. And
Yeah.
I think Busy Bee and Cats in the Cradle being ballad hits is why they got lumped in with those hair
Yeah.
bands, but they were so much more, or are so
man.
much more.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're still selling out shows over Pond.
In Europe,
They
yeah.
just don't come here because it's not the same as.
Yeah,
Same amount.
at least like, well, yeah, dude, no, for real. Like, if they came here, they probably couldn't even fill the shrine or something. But they
I don't
go
know.
play
We'd
Europe.
love to try if you'll come out here. We'll do
Oh,
it with you,
definitely.
man. We'll rock and roll that motherfucker.
We'll bust our asses. But
There's
like,
some Dogs, King's X, and Ugly Kid Joe. It sounds like a hell of a show,
Yes,
man.
yes.
Neither
But
of
like,
those bands ever come to our club.
at least you can YouTube like a festival show from them in like Europe.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah,
And they're
oh,
still
man.
good, man.
Yeah, they're
Dude,
fucking
Sunny,
great.
I've met 2 or 3 times. And he's just one of the
Menace of
nicest
Sobriety
dudes.
was their best fucking album.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't even get me started. Oh man.
It was a great.
Well, we're gonna go another hour.
These two will be like, God damn it, what are we doing?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Part 2.
See, there's a lot of that influence in this to me too. I hear all of these bands, the Clutch, the King's X, the Ugly Kid Joe,
Yeah.
and a little tiny bit of Seven Dust, not on this album so much, but on some other parts. But a little bit of Devin, a little bit of Cleany,
I like it. I like it.
but
So the last song is more relevant.
no, the
Ever.
last song was the one maybe that's what it was. That's what it was. We were gonna do a 3-song EP. And I got them to agree that if we put Foretold on, that we still did Election Song.
Oh, yes.
That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Because to me, Election Song was very important. No, it's a big election year. It is a commentary on the social situation.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't geared towards a side. And that's the point of the whole thing.
Yeah, anytime somebody asks me if I'm left wing or right wing, I say I'm not on either wing of the bird. I'm right in the middle of the bird's taint.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
What you got a dick on one side of you and an asshole on the other side?
Pretty much. The ball sack's making me feel claustrophobic while I'm trying for dear life to
Yeah.
not to fall into the asshole.
It's the classic, the South Park. You have to choose between a douchebag or a shit sandwich. So there you go.
That's a tough one.
But I try to stay away from politics a lot of times because there's a good chance, no matter what you say, you will alienate 50% of your listeners.
Mhm.
Because right now, especially, this whole freaking world is ridiculously divided. And this is kind of a song about trying to change things, making sure that you pay attention to where your vote is going. Don't just vote for a party. Actually, know who you're voting for. Do the due diligence. Actually vote on the principle, not on the party. There's been a lot of people, and I don't want to pick on anybody, but there was
Fallon.
Mary Fallon. Okay, yeah. But there was also people that. Shorty was the one I was actually going to mention that said the people didn't know what they were voting for when they voted to decriminalize marijuana. and then he's busted in a hotel room with an underage boy. It's like, I'm pretty sure the people didn't know what they were voting for there. But yeah, we have a couple songs. This one and another song, Black and White, which is on the list for Saturday, July 21st at the Vanguard. We have tickets for $10 in advance, and if you buy them from us, you get a free copy of this EP that you've heard so far.
That you can only hear here on
That you can
EP for the next 2 weeks.
That's
Next
right.
2 weeks.
Only on Thunder Underground for 2 weeks.
That was smooth, man.
Thank you. But yeah, they talk about the idea of don't think divisively, don't think black and white is that one, don't think one party, two party, just think. Actually, that's what it's about. There's always middle ground. There's always a third choice. You don't have to vote for this person or that person. But the most important part of the song is to make sure that your voice is heard. And that's, in this election year especially, it felt like I needed this song on this EP. So we tried to keep it unbiased, but we still wanted to make sure that people were listening.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason it's the last track on the album, is hopefully to leave you with a little bit of thought in your head.
Yes.
While rocking your face off.
While melting your face off.
People say they want a revolution, but they're too damn scared to lift their hands. People say they want a revolution, but they turn and do the same things over again. Use the same two candidates that we gave you last time. Different faces, different names, same damn heroes in mind. Working for the companies, the people fall back in line. We'll tell you who you should vote for, we can't let you decide. People say they want a revolution, but they're too damn scared to lift their hands. People say they want a revolution, but they turn and do the same things over again. Use the parties to divide. The second part is conquered. So my country, we must rise. We can't take this much longer. Stand up now, make yourself heard. Don't let these cats own you. You two won't cut it for the good. Change only comes if you want it. People say they want a revolution, but they're too damn scared to lift their hands. People say they want a revolution, but they turn around and vote for ballot again. So where are the parties that think of the people who think and who look just like me? People say they want a revolution, but they're too damn scared to lift their hands. People say they want a revolution, but they turn and do the same things over again. People say they want a revolution. People say they want a revolution, but they turn and do the same things over again.
Nice.
Election
That was like a short and sweet.
Yeah.
This is what it is. Deal with it.
That's kind of what we were thinking.
Deal with it and figure it out.
Yeah.
Just do something. Do something.
So is that something that you guys would insert a jam into? Or is that one of those songs where it's like, I'm getting this point across. Let's get in and get out live as well. You know?
I inserted jam into anything I play.
Right.
It all just kind of depends, I guess.
It would definitely be about where it strikes you. That one's a little hard to insert, but we have that center part has gone for a while before. It's real easy just to change one thing, like Ryan said earlier, and all of a sudden somebody does something different, and that riff in particular we played 3 times through, and it could turn into 8, 9, 10, 12 times real quick, you know. So it may not be a full-on jam where we're changing keys and the whole 9 yards, but there's definitely room for growth in every song. But some of them you do want to push that point across, and you don't want to lose the focus on the important ones. So there's Foretold is one where we can drop into a jam pretty easy. We have built-in jams. That's part of we do that partially so we don't jam in every song. At every show you'll hear us play at least 1 or 2 instrumentals, and those for the most part they have a skeleton. I tend to play the drummer part in those, where I let these guys do their thing and I'm just the backbone, you know. It starts with a cool bass lick, and then the bass lick just stays, and these guys can venture out and do whatever they want around me, and then when I switch they change to that, and that's the times that I tend to forget the audience is around, and I'll turn around and look at these guys. It's like, what do you want to do? and just walking around, and then I turn back around and it's like, oh shit, there's people. That's right. Cool.
Let's pick it up.
Let's go back to another song. I'm sorry. Forgot you were here. Where'd you come from?
Only you've been sitting there.
When'd you be here?
Have you met Mike?
This is Honeyman. This is Brian.
So this is the first time you've been a part of a band that you've been allowed that kind of thing?
Yeah, I suppose. I love that term "allowed," by the way, which is it's actually more accurate than I wanted to admit to.
I understand that too, man.
Yeah, I've been in bands where I've had a lot of freedom, and I've been in bands where I've had no freedom. I just had to play the part and just not step on anybody's toes. But this band again, they gave me the vibe that I could just cut loose and be myself. They welcome my input as much. Obviously, and I welcome theirs too. Like, I don't want to play something and then not like it and then not say anything about it. It's like, just fucking speak up if I'm doing something I don't like. Which they have on a couple occasions, but for the most part, we just always seem to see eye to eye. And it feels good. Yeah. This one is definitely one of the more free vibes that I have in the band that I've had in a long time.
If it doesn't ever feel good, Mike, let me know. I get some lube in there.
There you go.
Why am I always in the middle when these conversations take place?
Holy shit.
It's because we want you to know.
Especially when I'm all jacked up and can't run fast. This ain't fair.
Woo!
Hey, Travis, just let it happen.
No.
Let it happen.
You wouldn't like it without the resistance anyway.
We'll talk about your, I assume you two, jazz influence.
No, actually.
No?
No, it's funny. I just graduated TCC with my associates in music, and there was one of the instructors there is blown away that I'm a bass player that just doesn't listen to jazz much. I can't credit it much for my influence. I grew up playing sax, like I said, and I did play in jazz bands. I do like jazz. I prefer more swing and big band, though, out of those things. And blues was never my thing. Swing and blues, or jazz and blues are, I will openly admit to any jam night or anything, like, those are my weak spots, and I love going to jam nights and working on them because I'm getting better at them. But no, they really didn't factor into it much. Maybe more so classical and, like I said, big band or marching band. But
My time on the field.
I think in school there were kind of the two classes. You were either the more classical guy or the more jazzy guy, and I definitely leaned towards the classical side.
And I love that about you.
The more bluesy and jazzy influence you hear, there's probably more me than him. But I have some classical too. I listen to everything. And I played in an orchestra and jazz band. I did that as well. But something about blues and rock just called to me, you know. And that's where I kind of started out. But, you know, I got into metal and funk and R&B and reggae and
See, it's funny though, because we do have a song that's. Oh, did we rename it? Did we officially rename it?
well, which one are you talking about?
Jazzy Jam. It was called Jazzy Jam, and it is very jazz influenced, but it's the only thing jazzy I've written.
Oh yeah, what was you wanted to call again?
I think we're gonna call it.
I don't remember what we're going
The
to call it.
Tisdale Swing.
Oh, yeah, the Tisdale
Which one?
Swing.
Tisdale Swing.
Oh, Tisdale Swing. That's right. Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. That does fit really well with it.
Know your highways, guys.
Yeah.
And
Well, that
Tisdale
kind of
was a
honors
beast.
Wayman as well.
Yeah, Wayman
Yeah.
Tisdale was a
He was
beast.
a beast. He was a hell of a musician.
Yes, he was.
And a person. Hell of a person. And an athlete.
And a
too.
player, yeah.
Yeah, can't forget that part. I mean, that's how most people know him.
I hope he was a person.
I am not a person. I am a tree.
I have a
I
ficus.
know you speak to the tree, remember?
I speak for the trees.
You speak for the dogs.
You're
I
Lord
speak
Axe.
for the dogs. That's I'm the dog
Yeah,
whisperer.
Travis is our dog whisperer. Any dog that meets him instantly falls in love with him. Just talks to him.
And they talk back.
Yeah.
The people tend to ignore me. The dogs love me. So it's,
Sorry, what were you saying?
exactly. And that's why I hang out with the dogs. It's, but yeah, the influences do come from across the board, but they come from across the board. Where he does bring, well, they do bring the actual jazz and blues. Mikey, that's why he's the Onion Man, in my opinion, because there's just so many layers to his playing. It peels off like an onion. You name it, and he goes, hold on.
The Onion Man will play everything from a Cotton Eye Joe to a Damned If I Know.
There you go.
What about
And
another
every layer, every layer is so filled with so much essence, you just want to cry.
Essence. That makes me feel dirty.
Here we
I
go
want
again.
your
I didn't say it like essence.
No, but I did.
Oh, now you sound like a perfume commercial.
Moisture is
oh,
the
the
essence of
pasture.
wetness.
It makes you
Take
want
it
to cry
right.
because it's beautiful and it's an onion.
Right.
There you go.
Don't cut me. You're
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
Your finger, yeah, don't cut me. Your fingers stink for weeks.
That's why I do that before I go.
The acoustic thing, is that something you think you guys would do more of, or is that just something you were doing because you needed to do it?
We refer to that as the Dog Day After Party.
Yes.
That is, number one, it's fun, but it also is, as Brian mentioned, he's lived off his music for a long time. We both would kind of like to get there. It pays bills more than anything. We like the acoustic thing is a blend. It's not just original or covers. It is originals, but we play everything, and it's the originals that sometimes don't fit into a set. Like I said, sometimes we will bring it down and play a slow song, but some of these are just almost even too slow. We worry about people walking off if we were to try and play them in the wrong atmosphere.
Right.
But beyond that, it does serve a purpose of bringing in money. We have probably close to 4 hours we could fill now worth of music between the covers and the originals, just for this project. Mikey and I's other band has another 3 hours, and we've already decided to create this giant Justice League that will be able to play like 7 hours worth of music.
Not
for-
Justice League, but just us.
Nobody else gets to join. It's just us.
that will be able to fill just about any amount of time a promoter should need. You need, and it's a total of 5 people.
Yep.
So with that kind of thing in mind, we can offer a lot to a venue. We all still make enough money to where we can. I'm a student, I'm Poe.
You know, the other thing about the acoustic thing, though, it gives us an opportunity also, when you're that stripped down and musically naked, you hear exactly what the other person's playing.
Yeah.
There's no coloration going on, distortion, you know, and the amps are not covering things up. It tightens up vocals. It tightens up, especially particularly in vocals, whenever you're singing a background part that the ends in together and the enunciations together. You know,
If I'm singing out of key, just say so, man.
well, if that's going to happen, you'll know it when we're doing it acoustically.
That's right. Yeah.
For sure.
By the
So-
way, don't forget to check us out at the Vanguard.
But also,
July 21st.
July 21st.
Right.
They have tickets on sale in advance. $10.
You go ahead.
I was trying to coach you, but you'll get a free demo if you spend that $10.
That's right.
You've only got a week from yesterday. Man, by the time you hear this, you're running out of time. You better call quick. Act now. Operators are standing by. We will deliver.
We?
Absolutely.
Was that good?
That was good.
Okay.
That was also the cover thing allows us to play songs that we enjoy as covers that inspire us in other ways that you don't necessarily normally hear in our music or whatever, but as players, you know. And it gives us time also to have some fun as well, and you know, and gives us
Drink a little beer.
drink a little beer.
Okay, drink a lot of beer.
Okay, a lot of beer. Speaking of, pass one over.
It's a lot of leaning over right now. I
I
can't
know.
do that.
Thank you. And then, you know, and to go out and perform these songs and have fun in an atmosphere where it's a little bit more intimate and you engage the audience a little more. You know, maybe you can't as much as you could if you're on the stage screaming at them in their faces. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, there's people that come see that and then they're like, wow, well, I wonder what the Sound Electric. It's a whole different ballgame. Come see us Electric, you know.
Mhm.
You like metal music? Yeah. You like something unexpected? Yeah. Come see us, you know.
Here you go.
That-
You there?
That is a good point. It does allow us to reach into fan pools that maybe we wouldn't normally be able to. You know, they hear us do a nice harmony on a Queen song or Dead-Eye Dick or whatever it may be that we're playing, and it draws them towards us and we do feel it at this point. We're getting close to that set even being half originals, so it's not totally full of covers at this point. So it introduces them to an aspect, and even some of the more stripped down versions of songs. We do Siren Song acoustic. We do Standing Tall acoustic. It's actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
You can hear that one on Rock Rage Radio every now and then. That was
Good one.
insane.
Nice.
Good
Yeah.
one. That's
Nice.
girth to it, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chris Barnes
That was
called.
almost
He'd like
technical.
he'd like his vocals back, please. Never seen Chris Barnes. That's one that's on my list. I need to see Barnes live.
He's I have not either.
No, I have not.
Finally gonna check Slayer off my list. Never seen them.
Oh man, they're fucking great.
I can't wait.
Oh,
I've seen
them a
Anthrax
bunch.
before, but I'm stoked to see them again too. But
Yeah.
yeah, last tour I said, well, obviously I've dicked around long enough. I should buy my
Yep.
tickets, and
Gotta do it.
it's gonna be hot as hell. Zoo Amphitheater in August.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're doing the Walmart thing, the Walmart amphitheater in Arkansas.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
It's covered.
Ah,
So that's hard.
I
We're
didn't
going
even
to
know
that
that
one.
was.
Rogers, it's about the same distance as
Yeah,
Z-Amps.
we're like, fuck it, we're going to that one.
I didn't even know about
It's
it.
like on a goddamn Monday or some shit, but we're like, or isn't it?
I think.
We're like, fuck it, we're going.
Well, I think the one at the zoo's either a Tuesday or
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the one right before that.
No, I love Arkansas. I would have gone over there. That sounds like fun. Plus, I got places to crash over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing we're trying to consider doing with the big metal thing is moving into different towns now. You know, maybe we can not do the show every 3 months, but do it every couple weeks in a different town. That would be okay with us, but.
Yeah, definitely.
And Fort Smith is definitely at the top of the list. I've got a lot of family and friends over there, so And as long as I've been playing, it's the one town. I even lived there for a year. And it's the one town that I still haven't played. It's kind of funny. So that's on my goal list, is to go there. But
Their downtown is cool.
oh,
Yeah, it
dude,
is.
the
It
strip
is.
is badass. I've had way too many nights I can't remember on that strip. And then once I turned legal, I had even more nights I can't remember on that strip. Yeah, it was a good time. Their St. Patty's Day pub crawl it was an event. I haven't been over there for a while, but
Yeah.
it's a good time.
Hell yeah.
Right on. Well, we appreciate you guys doing this and letting us hear this music first and play it first.
Definitely.
Yeah, you guys are the absolute first people to hear these mixes.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
We appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah,
That's
thank you
why
for that.
we hit you up,
Yeah.
is because you guys do a lot for the local, not just the local singing. You guys have made it to where you've been able to branch out and contact the bigger people, and you know, I'm fairly envious of the upcoming COC and I Hate God interviews.
We actually, COC turned us down, right?
Well, they've said maybe.
They said
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
Hate God, even that one. I mean,
Yeah, that's
cool
on
as
for
hell,
sure.
dude.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Hey, COC, don't turn them down. Pepper, all you boys, you'll have a good time, man.
One might say they bring the thunder.
Ooh, perhaps.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, I just
no
watched
idea.
before we came out here. I just watched COC from Bloodstock in England in 2016, and God, what song? Oh, they right before they played "Vote with a Bullet."
Mm.
Pepper King goes, "I want to dedicate this to a dickhead named Donald Trump," and then he goes, "Don't worry though, we'll be okay. He won't make it."
No.
And I was like, "Oh, dude."
Wow.
Oh,
He cursed us.
If you only knew. If
Damn.
you only knew.
So the viewers can't see this, but I'm handing the guys here 2 tickets for giveaway. So if you got
Awesome.
somebody that I don't know how you guys do your giveaways or whatever,
Usually Facebook.
use Facebook.
Yeah, he
right?
does the whole comment and, all that
so
kind of thing.
so bug the crap out of these guys and get your free tickets.
Those
Yeah.
2 free tickets are the same as any pre-sale ticket to our show at July 21st at the Vanguard.
It'll give
And
you
we will give you a demo whenever you pick up those tickets.
EP.
That's right, EP. That's what I said.
EP. Not
That's what I
EP.
said. Shit. Yeah. Damn it. I had too much fun last night at the Plums. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, they do come with the EP also. It's just come up to the table, the merch booth, and let us know you were the Thunder Underground winner, and we will hand you your CD. Probably a sticker too. Just
Hell yeah.
because we love you.
Might even moon you while we're at it.
Okay, I'm not going to moon you because nobody wants to
I'll
see that.
handle the public nudity.
Okay, you
it's okay.
handle the public nudity. I'll be most likely to fall down on stage.
You're gonna run around with your hamburger all hanging out.
Probably.
Okay,
It's
I'm cool with that. I just want to
It's
know what's
hot up
happening
there,
before it
man.
happens. Okay.
Oh man,
Gotta
the
let my
day
skin
you
breathe.
start wearing Speedos on stage is the day my mic moves further that way.
not
Who was he? The drummer from Jackal used to do that.
And Tommy Lee.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Tommy
right.
Lee always did,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You know the difference between lead guitar player and lead singer?
Who?
At least 20 yards at all times.
Court ordered.
Ba-doom.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys for having us.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
really
man.
appreciate
Absolutely.
It's
everything.
an honor to be on Thunder Underground.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty stoked. I listen all the time. So
Thank you.
you guys
Appreciate it.
are legit.
There you go, Brian, Travis, and Onion Man from Let's Slip the Dogs.
Hell yeah.
Very glad, to be able to do that. Like we said, thank you to them for inviting us over, sitting down, and letting us debut these 4 tracks for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it was really an honor. I felt like a musical kinship with these guys. They're around our age, and I think that they grew up on a lot of the stuff that we did. So it was really cool to just talk about music, and, I don't feel like the only music nerd out there.
That's right. And you said before you got to see Michael Hansen
Yes.
when he was a kid.
Yes,
Playing
yes, way
and
back in the
kicking
day
ass.
when he was like 9, he played YYZ, and you
Which is
couldn't,
just insane.
you couldn't fucking touch him. It was great.
As a 9-year-old, that's fucking
I
crazy.
know. It was fucking nuts.
That's why he's in a band with these two guys, and
Yes.
they're all that fucking good.
That's right. That's right. I mean, you know, I couldn't do shit when I was 9. I can't do shit now. You know, so that was awesome. It was great. It was a good evening, good afternoon talking to these guys.
Definitely. And like we mentioned, and they mentioned, next 2 weeks, you want to hear these songs again?
You got to come here.
Hit play on this podcast once again.
That's
you know,
right.
if you just want to hear the jams, you know, you can look at the little,
Yeah.
you know, the little thing there on the SoundCloud or whatever you're listening,
Yep.
on the iTunes, whatever you're listening to on, you can see where the volume bumps up a little, and you know
And
where to
that's-
start each track.
And that's the thing. It's like, you know what? If you don't want to hear us, that's fine. I would hope that you do. But if anything, just come here for the tunes.
But
That's,
yeah, I understand.
that's all I want.
Over the next 2 weeks, you might not have an hour and 45 to kill every
That's
time
right,
you want to
that's
hear
right.
Let's Slip the Dogs. So just jump forward to these songs.
Definitely.
You know, you've listened this far. so
Why
now
not?
Go back and just check these songs out once again as many times as you want. Get out to the Vanguard this Saturday night, July 21st. Check them out. Get a CD from them. You buy the tickets from them. Get a hold of them online. You help them out by buying it from them, and also you get the free EP with it as well.
Fucking A.
That's right. All right. Well, we appreciate you listening. We've got 179 previous episodes you can check out. Everything's on soundcloud.com/Thunder-Underground. You can find everything at thethunderunderground.com. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Music, whatever. All that stuff. We get on there.
It's there.
YouTube, subscribe on all these things. Follow us, like us, leave a comment, leave a rating, leave a review, whatever each site it is that you're listening to allows. All that stuff helps us out as well.
Definitely.
Patreon.com. Look up Thunder Underground. Send us a few bucks. That helps out as well.
For sure.
Jason will use some of that money to buy a Chicken Fucker t-shirt.
Why not?
Yeah. We'll use some of that money to buy Let's Slip the Dogs tickets.
I hope so.
That's right. And speaking of Let's Slip the Dogs tickets, look on our Facebook later today.
Yes.
We'll have a contest up where you can win 2 free tickets to this show. And by winning those 2 free tickets, you also get free EPs as well.
Gotta love it.
Cannot go wrong with that. But yeah, previous episodes. If you haven't listened before and you need to check out the back catalog, if you like Let's Slip the Dogs, you probably might like Corrosion Conformity.
That's right.
We had Reed Mullen on here back in the day.
Yeah.
We've had guys from King, from Truck Fighters. We've had Gene Simmons on this podcast.
That's right. And Bruce Kulick.
That's right.
Seven Dust, Miss May I, Ian Moore, Shooter Jennings, Kyle Shutt from The Sword.
That's right.
I mean, Battlecross,
Like in this interview.
Superjoint. We've had 2 dudes from Superjoint.
That's right. If you've listened to this interview just now, you heard Travis talk about Megadeth. We've had on a guy named Dave Elfson.
Yes.
We've also had on a guy named Chris Broderick.
That's right.
Both phenomenal. Both current and former members of Megadeth.
Exactly. Hey, do you like Eddie Trunk? We've had him on.
That's right. Speaking of Eddie Trunk, we didn't mention that our sponsor, DEB Concerts, he hosts every show
That's
at
right.
Ideal.
Eddie Trunk's going to be there.
So if you want to meet Eddie Trunk, get out there. That's another incentive.
Stump the goddamn trunk.
Yeah, I do it every time I go.
Fuck yeah.
Ask him questions about UFO that he didn't even fucking know. It's
There you
insane.
go. Because you're the UFO master.
That's right. All right. Well, are we good?
I think we're good, man. I'm done.
All right. Well, we appreciate you listening.
I want to go get drunker than I am already.
Okay.
Okay.
More
Yes.
Frios.
Something like that. I got High Lifes in there right now, which is the champagne of beers.
You got any Boone's Farm in there?
Fuck no.
Okay.
What do you think I am? I have standards some sort.
I think you're an 18-year-old girl.
Oh, Jesus. We're definitely fucking done.
All right. Until next time.
It's tough. It's a heavy weight I carry. I just kind of let him tag along. He doesn't do much. Totally kidding. It's all his truth.
It's the truth. That's how I feel over here most of the time. Yeah. I'll just show up. You guys tell me when.
That's why your back hurts, right? You carry everybody.
That's it.
That's how, you know. Jesus Christ.
Thunder Underground, y'all.